40 years ago, the first thing I learnt when studying theology was the importance of Christianity being a Trinitarian religion, making it very adaptable, evidenced by the fact that there are over 2.3 billion adherents spanning the world. I have long pondered why belief in a triune God is so important. While pondering this question, I discovered that 3 is the smallest number needed to create a pattern or a rhythm. Music, the language of the soul, comes to us predominantly in the 3 dimensions of pitch, duration, and volume. Also, we have inherited 3-dimensional vision from our primate ancestors, without which we would be in constant danger of tripping over curbs, falling down steps, and walking into lampposts. We also see the world in the 3 primary colors of red, blue, and yellow, beautifully displayed in recent days in rainbows when it's rain, reminding us of the fullness of God's promises. St. Patrick used the 3-leaf shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity to the Irish, who adopted it as their national symbol. Religion derives from the Latin religar, to bind together, a binding achieved through 3 shared beliefs. The first, about the nature of the world. Secondly, the role of each individual within that worldview. And thirdly, the values that are needed by the individual to fulfill their role in the world. And religion has been a characteristic of the human species since the beginning of time, distinguishing us from other animal species. To have built the megalithic structure of Stonehenge 500 years ago, the ancient Brits must have had a compelling religious belief, which to this day, to those who study it, remains a mystery. We know our own Aboriginal people had a religion, and it enabled them to occupy, share, and manage our continent for over 50,000 years through massive changes in climate and the brutality of colonization. The Uniting Church's Aboriginal members, some years after union, challenged the colonial Trinitarian belief that God had been finally and fully revealed to them in Jesus Christ. The Uniting Church, after much debate, recognized their claim and changed its constitution to recognize that the first peoples had already encountered the Creator God before the arrival of the colonizers. The Spirit was already in the land, revealing God to the people through law, custom, and ceremony. The first 2 chapters of Genesis, which is our reading today, lays the foundations for what in time becomes our Trinitarian belief. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, the first image of God is as creator of the universe. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, the next verse, the second image of God is as an unseen spirit or wind hovering over the chaos, bringing forth life in all its beauty and diversity. And in Genesis 1:27, the third image of God is found in humankind, created in God's image, an image fully revealed in our faith tradition in the life and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. The post-Easter Jesus instructs his disciple in our gospel reading today in Matthew 28, verses 19 to 20, to share this triune image of God by going and making disciples of all nations, baptizing in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching all he had commanded. However, religion, despite its importance, is in serious decline, always being held hostage by fundamentalism, or as we have seen in recent days in America, by the empire of the rich and the powerful. Religion, it appears, is fulfilling its role less and less because its functions are being supplanted or overwhelmed by another belief and value system that we barely recognize. Today, the most powerful shared explanation of the world is science. But science brings before us new moral challenges, evidenced in the pandemics of COVID-19 and global warming, and new insights into the origin of racial and sexual differences, which many find hard to accept. Such scientific challenges are not alien to religion and can reinvigorate religious belief. Even Charles Darwin, the father of evolution, so marveled at the scientific view of the world that he concluded his Origins of Species poetically with the words, "There is grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers having been originally breathed into a few forms or into one. And then whilst this planet has gone cycling on, according to the fixed law of gravity, from so simple a beginning, endless forms, most beautiful and most wonderful, have been and are being evolved." What has also changed in modern religion is that the most attractive role for the individual and value system has become consumerism. Its theological offspring is economics, probably the most influential of the social sciences, with its own laws to regulate human behavior according to the demands of the market. The discipline of economics is less a science than a theology of a vicious circle of ever-increasing production and consumption, offering a secular salvation of ever more stuff as we burn the house down to secure it. The market is now the first truly world religion, binding all corners of the globe into a worldview and set of values whose religious role we overlook. So it is no coincidence that in our times of ecological catastrophe also happen to be a time of extraordinary challenge to most traditional religions. Although it may offend our vanity, it is hard to conceive of conventional religious institutions as we know them serving a significant role in solving these crises. Our more immediate problem is whether the church will survive in any recognizable form the onslaught of this new religion. The situation is becoming so critical that the many crises may actually turn out to be a positive thing for religion. For ecological catastrophe is awakening us not only to the fact that we need a deeper source of values and meaning than market capitalism can provide, but to the realization that contemporary religion is not meeting the need either. People in their spiritual emptiness are seeking an alternative. Our Christianity's Trinitarian foundations guide us to affirm that which is sacred. First, creation and nature's laws. These laws have no mercy as they exist to ensure sustainability of the earth for future generations, and we must respect them. Secondly, the creativity implanted in our own souls, revealing to us both the moral imperatives and the ways to solve them, to address them. the ways of salvation. And thirdly, the kingdom of the common good, revealed in Jesus' life and teachings, found also within the golden rule, common to all the world's great religions. I would just like to conclude with my favorite prophet, Job, who in chapter 12, 7 to 10, advised his tormentors and doubters with these words, "But ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. Let us embrace anew the Trinitarian foundations of our faith, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen."